Hello, what's up? Eman from Peso Smart PH here. Welcome sa panibagong episode. Shout out to all the podcast listeners as well. I appreciate you all. Today, let's talk about GLO. So currently, nagtitrade pa rin ngayon. Nasa 1:22 PM na tayo. So 1871 yung last traded price niya. So up siya ng around 1.14% in comparison nung Friday last week. And then, yung 52-week high niya is nasa 2,650. So, medyo malayo na. And yung 52-week low is kakakuha lang natin yan last week as well. Nasa 1,775. That's why I was trying to scoop up some more globe stocks at the 1,800 range. So, I think it's a good price range. And yeah, I know na pwede pa rin tong mas bumaba if the economy worsens, and especially yung economy ng US, and if maging mas hawkish pa ulit yung Fed because of inflation. And kapag hindi mas napabagal yung pagtaas ng inflation, kasi di ba konti lang yung binagsak niya from December to January and from January to February. So medyo problematic yan. When it comes to dividends, 4 times a year nagbibigay ng dividends itong common shares ng Globe. So nag-announce na sila ng panibago. And yung first one, yung ex-date was last month, Feb 15. So nasa 25 pesos per common share yan. And usually, 4 times sila itong ibibigay and same amount lang. Like, if you check on 2022. So, mas konti yung binigay nila this year for some reason. 27 sila per quarter. But dun pala, nagbaba din sila nung November 2022, apparently. And I think they're just anticipating yung rough economic state for 2023. That's why siguro nagbaba na sila ng konti at the last quarter ng 2022. And same thing, 25 ulit yan by Feb 15, 2023. And same thing lang to, May ulit yung next August 2023 and November 2023, mga X dates. You can expect that and medyo predictable na yan. And the net mo naman dito sa Globe at this current price point, nasa 1,800 pesos per share or even 1,900 pesos per share. Nasa 4 to 5% pa rin yung maninet mo sa dividend sila per year. And then let's check yung kanilang financial report for 2022. So wala pa siya dito sa tab na to. So hanggang September lang to. And ito 2021 pa. So you have to go to company disclosures and click tong material information/transactions. After that, magkakaroon ng pop-up, download nyo na lang yung file and pupunta kayo dito. Yung mahalagang tingnan is sa page 17. So you can check their assets, their liabilities, and yung equity. And eventually, mag-balance out yan. Lahat ng total assets, equal yan dito sa total liabilities and equity. Yan yung sacred or basic rule ng accounting. And then punta kayo sa page 18, dito nyo makikita yung revenues. Dito nyo makikita kung saan nanggagaling yung kinikita or saan nanggagaling yung pera ng Globe. So service revenues and non-service revenues. So service revenue, yan yung pinakamalaking chunk ng kanilang revenue. So 1,057.9 billion pesos. So, kung mabasa nyo to as it is, 157 million lang, di ba? Pero nakalagay dito in 1,000 pesos. So, that's why kailangan mo mag-add ng 3 zeros or multiply this figure by 1,000. So, kaya nagiging billion. The non-service revenue nasa 17 billion pesos. And total, 175 billion pesos. And then, meron silang income, losses, income or losses. So pag kami parenthesis, ibig sabihin ng loss yun. Katulad nito, ito binabawas to. Itong mga figures na to, in-add. And then we have costs and expenses. So ito, i-add mo to dito. And then we have cost and expenses. So after ma-add to, yung total niyan, ma-minus or less itong cost and expenses. Nasa 153.9 billion pesos. Income before tax is nasa 44 billion pesos. And then itong provisions or benefit for income tax, ito yung binayaran nila. And ito yung dinefer. So net income pumapatak at around 34.6 billion pesos. Nag-grow yan from 23.7 billion pesos noong 2021 and from 18.6 billion pesos noong 2020. So 2022 has been a very good year sa Globe. From 2020 to 2021, nag-grow yung revenue nila, well, yung net income nila by 27.68%, and from 2021 to 2022, nag-grow yung income nila by 45.86%. I'm not gonna say I'm not very confident kung magiging sustainable to. Kasi at some point, magiging stagnant yan or even magde-decline. But yeah, again, 2022 is a very good year, and kung retain nila to, masustain nila to ngayong 2023, then that's pretty good for the shareholders. And then you can scroll down ulit. Makita mo dito yung earnings per share. Kita mo naman, it just went up from 2020 to 2022. Punta kayo sa cash flow. So makita nyo rin dito kung saan nagagaling again yung pera. So dito, ayan, pag in-add to lahat, and of course, yung may mga parentheses, ililes yan. Yung total operating income before working capital changes nasa 85.2 billion pesos. Again, in 1,000 pesos to. And then, again, add yung iba. Well, ito puro less. And then, add this one. Less. Yung cash generated from operations is around 70.5 billion pesos. And then, ililes mo yung taxes paid. Nasa 7.6 billion pesos. So, net cash flows from operating activities nasa 62.8 billion pesos. Ito yung figure. Then, cash flow from investing activities. So, mostly nilaless to. And then, ito, may add lang tayo kasi proceeds yun from sale and leaseback of Telecom towers. Then, yung iba, collections of loans receivable from related party. But mostly nilaless. So, yung net cash flow dito in investing activities, so negative 71.5 billion pesos. So, ito, i-add mo yung dalawang yan. Then eventually, meron kang cash flow from financing activities. So, sa pangungutang or sa pag-i-issue ng panibagong capital stock or panibagong stocks ng company. So, meron tayong long-term borrowings, short-term borrowings, and then repayment. So, ito kaya ina-add to kasi inutang to. So, short-term and long-term na debt. Then, ito naman kaya nililes kasi binayaran na nila. So, nababawasan yung kanilang cash, essentially. Then, of course, payments ng dividends, common and preferred. So, negative din yan kasi nililes yan kasi binabayad yan sa mga shareholders. And then, eventually, pagka inad and niles na yan lahat, meron tayong net cash provided by financing activities na 2.2 billion pesos. And then, yung net decrease or increase in cash and cash equivalents nasa negative 6.4 billion pesos yung sa Globe. So, nung previous years, positive yan. But ngayon, nasa negative side tayo kasi nagbabayad sila ng utang. And then, i-add mo to. And then, i-add mo rin syempre yung cash and cash equivalents at the beginning of the year. Total cash and cash equivalents at the end of 2022, nasa 18 billion pesos. So, para lang ma-check natin. Kung tama ba yung mga figures. So, kunin natin to, yung 62 billion. So, huwag natin dagdagan ng 3 zeros. Pampagulo lang yan. So, ito ililess natin yung net cash flow using investing activities. 71,575,379. So, meron tayong negative 8.6 billion pesos. And syempre, ito, pag na-total na, i-add natin. So, plus 2203,278. So, ito yung figure. Tama, di ba? 6,492,979,000. And then, i-add mo to. Kasi positive siya eh. So, plus 287,569. So, ito yung ililess natin dito sa beginning na cash. So, 24239,195 less 6.2 billion pesos. So, tama siya. 18,033,785,000. So, yan na siya kasimple pag naging familiar na kayo and nasanay na kayo sa pagbasa ng mga financials. And also, punta kayo sa page, I think 155. Yan. Makita nyo dito yung mga ratios. So, dito sa mga financial ratios na to, may mga ideal, but sometimes hindi rin siya ganun ka-reliable. But I can just search that out. Kung ano ba yung mga ideal numbers dito sa mga debt to equity, current ratio, solvency, acid test ratio. And then ito for me mas mahalaga, profitability margins. So yung EBITDA margins sila. So ito yung bali revenue. Profit margin nila 50%. So that's a good number kasi ideally yung revenue margins dapat above 50% ideally. Then yung net profit margin, again, ito yung profit nyo after all of the expenses, after paying taxes. 22%, that's on the high end as well. Kasi sa mga margin na yan, around, nasa na ba yan? Profitability. Yung makikita yung guide ko. Yun. So 10% and above is considered high sa net profit margin. 10% is 10% to around 19% considered average, and below 10 or below 5% is considered low. So yeah, goods to goods yung kanyang net profit margin. And again, I think this was the highest net income ng Globe in its history, but I have to double check yung books nila to find that out. Kasi 5 years pa lang yun sa BPI trade, so I can't really dig. I have to dig yung mga previous financial statements nila to reconfirm. But yeah, in the past 5 years, ito na yung biggest rev nila, even nung pre-pandemic. Then lastly, konting technicals. Kasi kita nyo dito, sobrang nag-slump yung RSI, daily RSI, nasa 26 lang. And comparable yan sa nangyari noong 2020. So, yung lowest local bottom dito, 1775. And if we take a look down na tong Globe from the local top noong 2021 by around 47% currently and around 50% na nag-local bottom last week. So again, that's why I scooped up some Globe stocks last week kasi ang gandang buying opportunity in my opinion. And if you compare noong 2020, nasa na yan? Ito. So lowest nun was here around 1564. It's relatively close if you consider it. Kasi kung bottom dito, tapos bottom dito, nasa 12% na lang yung difference. And kung in-negative natin from here, babagsak pa siya to like 1.5. Yeah, 11.72% yung difference. So it's not really that high. And if you bought here and bumaba ulit sa 1.5 level, you can always buy more. And mapapababa mo palalo yung average cost mo sa Globe. And again, it's down by 50% from the all-time high itong 2021. So, kung bumili ka dito around 3K at that time, then bumagsak dito, nag-hesitate ka kasi nasa 2,000 level pa din, and you're not buying now, then medyo weird. Lalo na kung long term din naman yung horizon mo sa investing. So, if you bought here, then you should be buying here as well. And kung bumaba pa nga again, like, kung katulad nung pandemic levels ng 2020, then you should buy more here as well kasi bumaba siya sa ganong price level. I think ganun lang kasimple. And kung wala ka namang additional capital, you can still hold the stocks kasi nagbibigay sila ng dividends every year. So, that's additional capital for you kapag nabayaran ka ng dividends.